Front Row Motorsports is making moves for 2025 and beyond in a way that really changes how the team is run from its year-by-year approach in the past. With this, it's not determined which drivers are going to be with which teams. It could be any which ones in the 34, 38, and a number and team to be announced. But what is announced today is that Noah Gragson will be joining Todd Gilliland at the team as the second driver signed on and as a huge piece to grow Front Row Motorsports into the future. Front Row Motorsports at this point, as an overview, is now a Ford Tier 1 team. And this is probably a big step up for just about any driver on the free agency market that's left, Noah included. When you look at Stewart-Haas Racing and its fall compared to where Front Row is at the moment, it is night and day. But how is this going to change both the landscape for Ford, Front Row, Noah, and just everyone else in general? Well, for the first one, I alluded to it. Long-term stability. This is going to be huge for everybody involved. Front Row Motorsports basically did a year-by-year approach for the past 15 or so years, signing a driver to a one-year deal and then negotiating towards the end of silly season that same year. That was great for a team that was running 30th every week, but for a team that's now in the top 20 on a regular basis, well, that's just not going to cut it. And with that, they alluded to the fact that Noah Gragson is going to be at this team, not just for 2025, but for multiple years to come. And with this, Noah has not had stability in his career since he was at JRM in 2021. If you remember, Noah Gragson did have a bit of trouble starting out at Junior Motorsports. He was still a relatively decent driver, but it took a while for him to get wins, and he also was definitely on the hot seat a lot when it came to, well, the way that his career would go if he didn't get those wins. But with a team fully behind him, with him basically being the franchise guy for a couple years, they were able to improve, and Noah was able to improve to be a championship tier level driver at the Xfinity Series level. And if all goes according to plan, that's probably what they want to happen in the Cup Series. He also has shown growth in the number 10 car this year. He has improved a ton year over year. And I'd say he's doing much better in that car than Eric Almirola. You hear Noah Gragson in the top 10 a lot more with a team that is in its dying days. And he is leagues better than he was at Legacy Motor Club, where he looked like he was completely lost in that number 42 car. So you have a driver who's starting to ascend. You have a driver who's ascending now with long-term stability. But what about the team? What about the team and driver combo? What about all of that? Well, to me, this means there are no excuses for either side. Both team and driver have no excuse but to improve from where they are right now, even if it does take a little time. Noah has a team on the upswing that is fully bought in on him. From the sounds of it, they're very, very upbeat about him coming in. It sounds like there's a lot of energy that's been added to the building and a lot of hope. And that's something a young driver like Noah, who, while being a bit better this year, has still had a tumultuous past couple of years, needs out of his teams. He also is a driver that needs to be better than the one before him. Michael McDowell did an excellent job helping this team build up to be a playoff contending team year in and year out. A team that may not be up there in the points necessarily, but can pop off and get a win like McDowell did at Indianapolis. And with that, Noah Gragson needs to be up in the points. He needs to be in that battle with guys like Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, you name it, whoever were in that battle the last couple months. He needs to be up there with them and have this team visibly improve by the end of next season. Compete for and then eventually in the NASCAR playoffs. He has a great improving teammate in Todd Gilliland as well. Gilliland is somebody, again, who in his first kind of runs in Cup seemed to be completely out to lunch, but since then has been one of the most consistent drivers in NASCAR since about, give or take, April or May, finishing in the top 20 damn near every race at this point. And with that, you have to look at both of them in the big picture of Front Row. Front Row has a long-term plan with these young drivers, and they have both bought in. So at this point, as long as it's not a complete disaster in 2025, you should see the confidence of the team and drivers stay relatively high. But there's more with that too. The Tier 1 backing of Ford doesn't just mean that they're going to have their place higher up on the totem pole in a list and that's about it. This team will be getting more equipment from Ford on a higher level. They'll be in their alliance with Team Penske on a higher level. So better engines, better people that are going to be involved, better attention. This should probably not be seen right away, but by the end of next year, it should be a relatively normal occurrence to see 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 front row cars in the top 10 to 15 on damn near every week's basis. They're going to have sponsorship. This team has done an amazing job at selling itself, and I would be hard-pressed to think that Loves, even after a long-term stable relationship with Michael McDowell, are going to move on with him to Spire. This team has had Loves with them before McDowell, and I have a feeling they're going to have it after, whether they stick with the 34 or maybe go with Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, whoever the new guy is. Whatever it be, sponsors will be here. They're going to sell this out. And this long-term stable plan is something that they probably only dreamed of before, but is going to be absolutely huge for them. Now, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows right off the bat, I don't think. There is going to be growing pains with a 3-car team. They talked about it in their press conference that they tried doing a 3-car team before and it didn't work. They had to go and downsize back to 2, which is what they've built up to a solid level now. I would not be surprised if this team gets off to a really slow start, similar to what the majority of the Spire teams did this year, a team that I would say was on a very big upswing in 2022, 2023, and outside of Carson Hocevar is taking a step back this year. That's probably what's going to happen when it comes to Front Row, but again, I don't want people freaking out too much. I think that by the middle of the season, they probably will improve back to where they are now, or if not better, or they could just hit it off running. There is a lot of interesting questions to be raised from this, and I want to know from you now, what do you think of this move by both Front Row and Noah Gragson? Is Front Row taking that next big step that's going to help them up, or are they making a big mistake trying to buy their future in on guys like Todd Gilliland and Noah Gragson? And as for Noah, is this going to be that step up from Stewart-Haas? Is this going to be a playoff caliber team for him? Or is he going to completely fold under the pressure and under whatever else is added to him? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. While you're at it, leave a like in this video. Share this video and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. Be sure to watch NWP tonight on this channel. We'll have special guest John Ramos on talking about everything from Chicago, Pocono, silly season, this, and maybe a bit of an announcement about our iRacing event, the NWP 400. So, until then, have a good one.